So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to show you some graphs quickly. And the black line is where we want the student to be, and the red line is where they are and they're headed, okay? Okay. First one. First graph, what'd you think? Do we have to wring our hands and have a 30-minute discussion about what's going on here? No. When I come to this educational services team meeting? No. I can hold this up and say, you know, I've been working on this as a classroom teacher, and I need support. What about this one? When I come back to visit you, you gave me a recommendation. You said, hey, try this with this youngster. I can just run by the door. I don't even have to come in the room for the meeting. Hey, this principal, there it is. So I'm all set. All right. What might be, so what we're doing here is we're trying to look at making decisions about how the youngster's responding to what we're doing with them. So this is a youngster, and most graphs will calculate a trend line, and the trend line is a line that lets you know, given the current rate of progress, this is where you're going to be down the road. So, given this data right here, you're the educational services team. It's your job to decide, are we happy with this progress? Are we unhappy? What are we going to do differently? What might be your decision about your level of satisfaction with what's going on here? We started out pretty well, but something went awry. And we're kind of far. So what might be the decision by the team? Now again, it's a group of you looking at this data. Notice that you've got at least 4 data points, and that's one of the unwritten rules. Well, actually, it should be a written rule, but it's one of the rules of this team, is that we're going to look at the last 4 data points to guide our decision. And so we have the last 4 data points, and every one of those data points is below the aim line. So we might say, we've got to tweak this. We've got to do something a little different. So then what we do is we do our little something different. And now the youngster's getting in, we'll say, a supplemental services. The classroom teacher's doing a pretty good job, but we need something different. They're going to work with Mrs. Jones, and we're going to get some additional support at a time that's different from the reading instruction. And now, this is what we're trying to see. We're starting to see. So now this is the data where, and I come back and I bring you the data. What are you thinking now as a team?
Making progress.
Yeah, this youngster, we've changed. We're starting to head up. So we're on the right track here. The youngster's making some progress. Now let's take it a little further. Let's look at this line compared to that line. Use your outside voices. He is narrowing the gap slowly, so we're going to have to make a decision. If this represents weeks, maybe I don't feel too bad. Because if I draw this line out, it will intersect that line, won't it? If we stay at this rate. So that's a team decision. So what we're going to do, we're not just going to say, okay, let's keep on doing this and come back at the end of the year and we'll see if it did intersect. What are we going to do?
Chart out the weeks.
We're going to keep going with it. We said, come back in a month. We want 4 more data points. And by now, we're going to be here. We should be if we continue closing this gap, because it is slowly closing, then we're happy. But if not, we're going to have to do something differently. And again, we're basing our decisions on at least 4 data points. What do you think there? This is a trick question. Remember I said there would be no trick questions. This one is. What are you going to tell I'm the 2nd grade teacher, and I come in, and this is my data, this is the trend line, this is the goal line, and this team functions firmly under the 4-point rule. We're going to look at those 4 data points. And those 4 data points have to be below the goal line in order for us to make any significant tweaks. What do you tell me? Be tough.
Tweak it.
Be tough.
He went down and then all of a sudden went back up.
How many data points do I have below? Now, the reason I'm saying this is because remember the craziness about subtracting two numbers? If we can't do that, we have to set some firm rules about this. So,
They don't have to be 4 consecutive times then, do they?
yes, we're looking at the last 4 data points. If we have 4 consecutive points, and these are hard, fast rules we have to stick with, otherwise we end of the world of randomness again.